Hi, and welcome to the Scholar Tutorial. I'm Jay, and this tutorial will be talking about subjective under CBT. However, it will be Chinyere as the name of the person that is logged in, and this person happens to be a teacher, and this teacher has a portfolio as the SS2A math teacher. Now, clicking on this particular item, we'll be presented with the interface which we can use to perform the action we intend to do. Now, under the choosing subjective under CBT drop down in this navigation, we will have access to record a particular subjective. We'll use this question on metabolism as an example. Now we can have that dash and the answer now can be, let's say we'll call it anabolism and catabolism. Dash and dash, then the text here will be the two types or two forms of metabolism in organisms. Now we have that the first text is not really important in this case. Is the first answer, which is anabolism. Then the next one is catabolism. You can decide to use this one as a small letter. Now the anabolism and catabolism are the two forms of metabolism. That's the first answer is going to be the first space, empty space is going to be anabolism. Then the text that is going to be the space is and this one is going to be another empty space. Catabolism should be the answer. This other place is going to be displayed as what are the two forms of metabolism in organism. Now we have that we can also specify alternative answer to one answer one, alternative answer to answer another alternative answer to answer one. And since we are talking about anabolism being the correct answer for answer one, the person can also write catabolism as the first one of the person's choice. So we can use that as another alternative for answer one. That is answer one alternative one can still be catabolism, meaning that catabolism and anabolism specified in this answer one, two of them will become the correct answers. If you write any of them in the first position, it will be correct. Then the second one is alternative answer to alternative one. You can write anabolism. So in a situation whereby the person writes anabolism or catabolism, the person will still be correct. And there is that, and we can write we can actually describe or explain why catabolism and anabolism are the correct answers there. We can actually use a picture to actually describe that if we have a particular formatting, or we can even include some schematics showing how this anabolism and catabolism are carried out, and how they relate to how they are actually the forms of metabolism in organisms. Now we can actually create that particular depiction in Microsoft Word as scan and screenshot it, and then we can actually upload it using this button. Upload the screenshot picture using this button, and it will become what will be displayed, or it will be displayed along that the text we input into this explanation field for the students. Now this as well, I've actually created this one. We can actually save them. When we save this one, we will now have created a subjective. Now we have that the subjective saved successfully. The first answer is anabolism, and catabolism is the second answer, are the two forms of metabolism in organism. Then the alternative one, that is answer one. The alternative for answer one is what? Catabolism. Alternative for answer two is anabolism. So we can actually edit it. If you click on this, we have access to edit it, and we can change anything we think we could change. We can change this one to capital letter as the case may be. Then let's just leave it that way. Then we'll click on save or edit, and that particular if that particular is going to be down the edit, then that particular update will be what will be referenced. Let's go back to our previous interface. We can also what deactivate this particular subjective, and it will no longer be referenced as one of the subjective under mathematics versus 2a. Now we can have access to the subjective that has already been created alongside this one. If we look at this, we'll find out that there are two subjective right now, and this one was created previously and we can view it, but this one was just created just right now. For example, this one has this that the three major Nigerian languages are Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. That we can just view how it looks like, and if we find out that the subjective looks like this, and you have that the alternative A, answer 1, alternative 1 is Hausa, alternative 2 is Yoruba, as the case may be, and these are the few details. We can decide to edit it or deactivate it as the case may be. Let's go back to the subjective we have been looking at. Now, when this subjective that are here right now, this one, the question has not been created for this subjective we just created right now. If we click on this create question, we can then create a question with this subjective. When we create a question, we actually specify the topic the question is under. We go forward by specifying also the time that is going to take to answer this question and the mark that is supposed to be allotted to this question. Now, those three things will be assigned to this, and it will be created. It will now be what? It will now be established as a question now of type subjective. Now we can, let's just click on create question so we can complete this and we see how it is done. Now we can decide to use instruction. This instruction is very suitable when we are working on comprehension of objective subjective. Now, well, in this case, we will not specify instruction. Now, but the topic we are going to be using is series and progression, and this one states that the mark assigned to this is 1. We can decide to use mark of 4, and the time to answer this question can be, we'll still leave it as 1. Okay. When we save that, remember that this one is for what? This, and dash are the forms of subjective. Now, if you look at this, we have that. Dash and dash are the two forms of metabolism, and the answer is anabolism for this first space, or catabolism as an alternative, or in the second space is going to be catabolism or anabolism. Now we have that we have topic to be series and progression, and the mark for that is 4. The time to answer it is 1. Now this mark is going to be used to along with other questions that are specified in a particular bunch of CBT to grade to arrive at the final score, and this particular time is going to be used to estimate the time that is required to actually answer the CBT. Now remember that we can actually go forward to deactivate this particular question, and we can go forward to click here to edit this particular question. Now if we let's just click on this edit so that you see that we can edit this particular, that is editing the topic, the mark, and this. Okay, now we can look at it and you can see that we can edit the topic, the mark, and the timetable. Now when we go back to the previous former interface, right now we find out that we can then view the question, and because we have already created a question around this subjective, remember that we can also at the end of this remember that we have created a question. At the end of this, we can go to this particular place now and then choose many questions so that we can use them as and specify them as a particular CBT and work on them, and assign students to actually answer that CBT. Thank you for checking out this tutorial. We look forward to seeing you next tutorial, and make sure you sign up on our scholars. Goodbye.